Welcome everyone to our channel, the Walk with Faith channel. This is TIMECA YVETTE. Hi TIMECA.
Hi,
And
hi
I'm Molly.
everybody.
Oh my
Hi.
gosh.
So happy to be here. I'm so excited.
I know, I'm excited too. This is our first, look at those eyes. My gosh.
Look
And
at
that
you.
smile. This is the first time that we're on camera looking at each other talking.
It's you guys. I know we're probably going to be like teenage girls, like when you're in high school, giggling and all that stuff, and you're trying to tell each other secrets. But it's just I love her so much,
I
and
know.
I love what we're doing. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for you all that are watching, that join us, that have been since the start of this, which Molly was doing, of course, all on her own, being the superwoman that she is, and we keep our case tucked.
Mm-hmm. Thank
But
you.
no, seriously, I'm just. It's been an honor. It's been a privilege to be on this journey so far. Like
I'm getting goosebumps.
I'm trying not to get choked up, but I've had so many things like on both sides of the coin of um, tower moments, more so for people around me, but because they're close to me, it affects me. But on the flip side of that, it's the duality of things. It's and see, I just put it on do not disturb. They can't help it. I'm sorry.
That's
You see
okay.
me? I
That's
literally put it
okay.
on do not disturb, and my sister called.
Yeah, it's
Um,
okay.
but there's so many things I'm grateful for, like that I've just been sitting in that every morning, like I do when I meditate and pray, and balance my energy out before I start the day. I can't not cry about it because there's so many beautiful, good things that he's
Right.
blessing me. You and this collective being one of them.
Right.
Stepping out of fear being one of them. Finally
Huge.
stepping out
I'm
of that
writing this
fear
down. That's huge.
and just doing it, just taking that leap of faith that I had been called to, and I kept putting my feet in there, getting my feet wet a little bit, and then I pull back and put my feet in a little bit and pull back. And then he sent me you. And
Tamika,
I'm just like, I saw your
I love you
channel, I
too.
saw Crossroads Meets the Ocean Rose, and I'm like, she just has the most beautiful aura and just in your voice because I couldn't even see your face because I hadn't gone to all your other videos. And then when I did, I'm like, I told you just have this radiant, pure light.
Thank you.
And it spoke to me, and I heard my guys like, yeah, you just trust us. Like I didn't even get the full picture, and I felt that. I'm like, okay, she just feels like a kindred spirit. So, and then when I finally watched the one general read where you're like, yeah, I'm inviting people to just come and share, and if you all and I heard it clearly, and I didn't even hesitate. That was one time I can say I didn't hesitate. I just got on my phone and went to your site so I could get the email, and that's when I sent you that email, and
Yep.
the rest is history. And
Yep.
I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that again, I'm blessed that you even invited me on this journey with you, and it's been so amazing so far. And there's so much more I know that's ahead of us.
A lot.
And I told my son the other day, I'm like, I don't feel that fear. I feel, if anything, it's fearless. I'm starting to get this real fearless energy
Right.
build up that's like, okay, come on, what's the next thing? Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
Exactly. Exactly. I think I remember getting your email, and I remember recognizing you and your name when like you would comment, and then your
Yes.
email came through, and I was like, oh my god. I was really excited, and I'm so glad you did because everything really is divinely guided. We were divinely guided together, and
Yeah.
when me and Ryan were just doing the channel, and I was doing all of this, inviting people in, and then the Most High sent me you. And it was interesting because, like I was saying, everything is divine guidance.
It
But
is.
I was laying here one night, and I remember I told you this. What was this? I don't know, maybe a week ago or something. I was laying there and I was praying, and I was talking to him, and I was like, what do we do? Because I want TIMECA to be more a part of this. Like your voice, what you have to share is very powerful. And we really, I know I'm almost getting emotional. Um, we almost like balance each other out which is so
So well.
beautiful. Yeah.
So
And
well.
you love the Most High as much
So
as I
much.
do. I know.
So
Why am I getting emotional? Um, oh
much.
my gosh, I know. And we have been through so much. We have so
Yes.
much that we have to share, that we have to stand in our power. And I got this message so loud. It was like, not co-host, but partner in this. And I was like,
It's a lot.
okay.
This is why I made sure to have my Kleenexes because
I know.
um you know my daughter just like I told you how she feels and she spoke very openly. She was like, well, being the territorial thing that she is, she was just like, well, you left me the other day when we were having a conversation, you and I started down here because we were finishing up cooking dinner, her and I, and Kenny was helping. But they were talking and they were playing and doing their thing as siblings. But I ran upstairs so we could have privacy.
Right.
And because where our conversation was going, I'm like, I'm gonna go to my room. And she left when I was done. When we were done, you know how our conversations go every time.
Yeah.
And you know, she's gone. Kenny's in his room in the bed. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't mean for it to and so I just called her. I'm like, I'm sorry, babe. And she was like, I know. It's your sis and she in a good way, but she was like, no, ma, I get it. And I know how I
Yeah.
can be, and I can be a little ornery and all this stuff, but I'm really
It's
happy
okay.
because I can tell she's different. This is different.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, that's what I feel. That's what I got
Yeah.
from her. Like it's I see me. I finally found that person that I've been
It's
telling you
the
guys and
soul.
praying.
It's the soul. Like,
That was
totally.
it.
Yeah.
That was it. I
Exactly.
could see my soul in someone I hadn't seen that from a female. Let me just say that. Even obviously from a man, and I know we're going to get into that, but I can't even say I've had that in a masculine that I've been in a relationship with,
Yeah.
where I see a lot of me mirrored back. So
Right.
I knew that these were lessons. But with this, I'm like, no, we're going to take all our lessons that we learned from all that we've gone through now
Exactly.
and share it
Absolutely.
and try to help as many people
People as we
as we
can.
can to get in alignment and with their purpose. Because when you do, the things that open up, like just even your belief system. I told you I love Dr. Simone. Shout out to her and her channel. She did a lot. When I say when you are really in that collective energy, she said something we've been speaking on, but she's like, you all definitely walked to a different timeline. It's really wealthy. And for those of them that are out there challenging you, that who you are, that's basically making you explain that
That's
you're
funny you
being
just
called
said
to get
that.
away from that. And do you know she said you're being called to get away from that?
Exactly. Exactly, because we don't have to explain anything to anyone. The only one we explain to is ourselves and the Most High. We don't
Do you
answer
know
to
she said that
humans.
the same way, except she was more fervent. Like she was like, you know, she moved in her camera. She's like, you all don't have to explain anything to anyone but the Most High Himself, to God. And I'm like, this was powerful. This was so
Right,
powerful.
because it's not competition between other people. It's competition within your own self, your
Health,
soul. To
that
be
part,
the
that part.
best version of yourself, to come into this beautiful union, to
Yeah,
do your healing work. And if someone
yes.
else is on a different timeline, that's their timeline. That's their
And
journey.
with love and light, you know, with love, peace, and light and blessings. But that I feel like there's this, you know, being called to step fully into what our spiritual team, our guides, have called us to
Of
do. For me, it
course.
was loud and clear.
Of course.
I speak personally on me. It was loud,
That's what
and
I
I
got
had
right
been
now.
ignoring it.
I
Yeah,
was sitting with
exactly.
Ryan, and I go, this is where you're being led, like this direction, and you're helping us, and I with all this, and I'm very grateful. But I said, I know what the Most High wants us to do, and it's to continue assisting people, triggering people into an
Yeah.
awakening, into their healing, so they know what, just assisting them. They have to be aware, even if we plant
Yes.
those little seeds, and also knowing that You can get through anything when you do step into your power and you choose the journey, as
Yes.
difficult as it is.
Yes.
But healing and sharing our journey, hearing other people's journeys, and just helping this planet heal
It's
is huge. That
it's
is
so major. It's so major. And I feel that. That's another thing too. Like I think I didn't realize when I was watching the premiere with Derek when it was coming to an end because my sound it went out and I think there was a lag. But I had put the comment and I was saying, I really want to get involved with something that's environmentally friendly. I feel like I'm going to be called to start one of our own, like an organization of some sort that helps with the ascension of the planet of Gaia energy herself. Because I see people that abuse it. It bothers me. I don't like when if one of my kids or when his litter drops, I'm pick it up.
right.
Well, just pick that up. Let's be respectful of this beautiful oasis that we have. And it is that it's
I like how
touch.
you put that.
It
Exactly.
is. It's really like this big Shangri-La.
It really
And
is.
the presence of us has defiled it. Us being in driving things into a certain direction is defiling that. And we have to change
Exactly. And it starts with the change of ourselves and the way that we think,
that
the way
part.
that we
That
operate.
part. I'm really at a point that I just honestly can't give quarter to anyone that's not taking that accountability of self.
Absolutely.
We have it just starts there. If you're triggered, that's a good thing. People don't look at it as that. Even towers, that's a good
That's a
thing.
good thing
It's a good thing. It's clearing the way. It's for your highest good. It's not to you. It's for you.
for
We say this
you.
because it is. It's getting rid of the stuff that we took our time to get that he gave us that allotted amount of time to handle or deal with,
Right.
take care of. When we don't, and I noticed that when we drag, okay, now I'm gonna have to kind of hit you with a bamboo out.
It's like a little smack. It's a wake up
Yeah,
call. It's
yeah, that
it's it's like get in
just
shape,
needed.
get in line. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you're veering off track. And he knows where
yeah,
our hearts are. He knows what we need and we have a
yeah,
destined path. And then you're right. If we're sleeping on it or we're sitting there, we're like, okay, we don't know what to do, or we start going off track, those tower moments are going to hit. And it is not like we always say, it's not to us, it's for us.
for us,
It's
every
not as a
one.
punishment. That was something that I noticed people say too, is like, why am I being punished
Yes, I
for
hear it
other
too.
people? You're not being punished. But
Yeah,
also, that's about accountability.
it does go back to that.
How, yeah. And then victim mentality. So it's like, there's
Oh my
cause and effect.
gosh.
What choices did you or did you not make that made this unfold, right? So,
You
how
know, it's
can you make the changes so this doesn't happen? Because it's not like you're just going to remove yourself from this. I mean, depending on the timeline, remove yourself from this, and then
yeah.
magically everything's be like, yay, everything's like roses. It takes work. We have to do
And
the work,
that's the
these
part.
steps.
That's where everybody falls behind. It's the steps. It's and the thing is, they're guided. He's giving us. He's dropping the breadcrumbs right there when we
Yes,
receive them.
dropping them. Yes.
Like I always say that like when we talk about breadcrumbs and usually that's relationships and you know they're like don't take breadcrumbs and I agree don't be
I'll
breadcrumbs.
take the most highest
That's
breadcrumbs any day.
but the most highest you want those crumbs.
Yes,
We
please.
need those.
Give me
Please,
more. Yeah.
can you just rain it down like manna? I just need it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. And that's where that's where the confusion and the chaos, and he is not the author of
Author
chaos
of.
and confusion.
Mm-mm.
If you are
Mm-mm.
following that yellow brick road, you know, figuratively speaking, as a metaphor, and you start to realize, and you start to not recognize where you are, and you're looking around, okay, who are you? Who are you people?
Right.
Where am I? You're off path.
Right.
You're off path when you're surrounded by these things, and then and definitely if you're uncomfortable go ahead. And don't get me wrong, that with elevation, there is an uncomfortability.
But there's a
But when you're
difference.
looking around and it's an uncomfortable, it's a scary uncomfortable, you're not where you need to be. I've been there.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't like this uncomfortable.
Right.
why am I here? You know, and it comes down to asking, I was asking me that question. So no one else has the answer. So then it's okay, well, I can't help you. You have to invite us in. I would hear that because I got to that point where I kind of
That's
shut
true.
down that
That's
link
true.
to my guides, my guardian angels, where I just wasn't asking in prayer. And it was crazy how that happened where
You
I'm
have
like,
to
I
ask.
really haven't. I haven't just made it plain what my needs are, where I really need the most help.
Right.
And I did that. I just started earnestly
Asking.
going into that space and asking, okay, yeah, I do need like, and then finally just got to a point to surrender all. Okay, my hands off the wheel. You all have the wheel.
Right.
I'm gonna let you take that because I find that I land exactly where I'm supposed to be
Of course.
every time when I
Of course.
just let go,
Right.
let them take over. And I
Right.
hope that, you
Because
know,
you're
what
still
we're
doing the
doing.
work.
Yes. And I'm still,
Because
yes,
you are though. See, you're
yes,
asking. You're going and you're like, I need this. I need help. You're understanding that. I need assistance
yeah,
because our way is not working. We're still in
yeah,
flesh. I mean, yes,
yes,
we hold a powerful spirit, but
yes,
we need help. Please help
we do.
us.
We
And
do.
we cannot be in control. We surrender that control. We know it's coming or we know it's here. We don't know how it's going to happen. But asking, knocking on that door, saying, I
Yes.
need you,
Yeah.
please, like
I like
open.
that. I like
I'm
that.
opening up for you. I need you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
And they're
it's crazy
here.
because what I'm finding too is there are people, and my son, we talk very candidly about that, where you get to the door, where you finally do all things, you get to the door, and then we get scared. It's like, what's going to be behind the door? Should I open that door? I'm still, I don't think I'm going to open that door. And I saw him in a period where I'm looking at and witnessing all these beautiful things and blessings and opportunities lining up, being laid. And he was kind of at the standstill for a little bit and kind of
Yeah.
staying in that same energy. And then that turned into procrastination. So I just, a friendly, loving nudge. I'm like, are you okay? Because I remember you saying you were supposed to look into this, that, or the other. And he was like, no, no, I'm gonna get to it. I heard them say clearly, just you know what to say to him. And I said, honey, it's okay to be nervous about the next chapter, especially when it's a new chapter. I mean, a new timeline like you that we've never been in before, something we've never
Right.
experienced. Where you're just kind of, and I knew that's what it was. That new Kenny is very um, the routine. You know what I mean? When things have had a good flow and it's very routine and familiar.
Of course.
That unfamiliar was scary, and I've been there. I
Yeah.
recognized it. So I'm like, you know what? Your mom's been there. Let me just share it with you so you don't feel like you're alone
Yeah.
in that uncertainty of it all. But that trust, I said, where it goes away is I trust the Most High. I trust Him
Exactly. Walk by faith,
with the faith,
not by
not by
sight.
sight.
Because
And
we
He
can't
said, and
always
that's what
see
He
everything. Yeah.
he said that same thing what you just said to me. You're right, Mom. Just that gentle reminder, and his whole energy was different the next day. It
Yeah.
was I remember he was much more sprightly, and which he usually is, for the most part, except when he's like in work mode and it's okay. I mean business mode, but he was very focused and concise about what it is that he needed to do and tackle, and he came back and was like, thank you, like always, just hug me. You just always know. He was like, and I said, I'm the messenger, and that's the truth. I'm the conduit, baby. I
Right.
I do as I'm told, and I don't always do it right when they say. I don't. We both been there when we were talking
Uh
about
huh.
you coming on camera. I remember that conversation. We were laughing, and when I first saw that you posted a recent video in recent weeks, and you were like, I have been guided, but I hadn't been doing.
Uh huh. Well,
And then I
yeah.
finally I got the energy, and I did it.
Yeah, because well, at first I didn't show my face, and then I was showing my face, and then they're like, don't show your face. I'm like, and then I got really comfortable. I was like, okay, I'm good with this. And then I got the message, no, get back out there, like show your face. I was like, all right, all right. But it's good. It's good because I want people to see the love or the passion or it's so much more when you can actually see someone
It
and
is.
you can feel so much more energy as well. And same with us doing this.
Yes. Yes, I love it. I love it. Um, I feel each time we do it, um, I feel more prepared as far as my energy just and I actually it's just more seamless. I feel like I'm just in my element being I can be my authentic self and that's why I'm grateful. That was such a
Yes.
huge blessing to have that space that you came to me with that beautiful gift of allowing
Aw.
that space for all of us, not just for me, for everyone that's been joining
That's
in.
what I
It's been
want.
so great. It's
That was
it's
so
been
cute.
so
It was so
exciting.
cute, Tamika. I was like, telling you, I was like, I want you to say whatever you want, be authentic, don't hold back. You're like, are you sure about that? I was like,
I'm sure
yes, I'm sure. I'm sure.
because I really have been trying to practice,
I
restraint
love you.
um, on some things because even around me, there are conversations and I'll get this look. My face I can't hide it, and my eyes definitely. My daughter's just kind of looking because I'll either I'm doing this when I hear certain stuff like, or I'm like,
Hmm.
I
What is
don't.
that funny reel when the Holy Spirit teaches you how to control or shows you how to control like your words but not your reactions? And it's
Yes,
that little baby and he's all like making all these faces like holding on so tightly but he's not saying anything.
I, I, you know, a friend of mine, a former friend, used to always say that, and she used to. It sometimes honestly used to piss me off because I'm thinking, just leave me in my. What is going on? And I'm like, well, what? Well, your face says. I'm like, and then I'm just irritated
And then
because
your
she
face
was
really
close.
shows it. Yeah.
It does because she was close enough to me to know, and I was trying to be cool and low key, and she just outs it, being her Aquarius. Well, what's going on? I was nothing. Yeah, I don't think you're telling the truth.
You're
Can
like,
I
I'm
have a
good.
moment?
Can I
Can I
just
just
be with
be?
me right now?
I just need a minute. They know when I say I just need a minute. Like, and
Yeah.
depending on the tone of voice, all right. Sometimes it's like, but if it's like I need a minute, and it
Right.
gets deeper, and my eyebrows are up, there. Okay, we're gonna give her a minute. Or we're
Right.
just gonna step aside and let me recalibrate and rebalance
And
myself out.
everybody
And it
needs
usually does.
that.
You
Everybody
do.
needs that. I
You
think
do.
that's something that we understand. Like you said it to me, which is so awesome that you said it because I usually say it to people. You said, if you don't hear from me or I don't respond like this, it's because I'm taking time for myself or going inward. Um,
That part.
and some people
That
get
part.
offended. I will
Yes.
never get offended because that's exactly how I am. I
That is
really
your
go into my, like, it's not that I'm ignoring anyone. It's my
no.
time to
No.
recalibrate, rejuvenate, regenerate, whatever it is, but it's my time. So that way I can have the overflow
Yeah.
to give. Because if we're
The way you're
constantly the way we're supposed to, the way that the Most High wants us to, otherwise I'm depleted. How am I going to give to you?
I was just gonna say that. You
Like,
just can't give from depletion.
no. So I
We
get that.
can't. We can't.
We
Like
need our time.
I keep driving this home. Like my sister, the one that called, she's that one, and she said this, and we've had candid one-on-one talks. But I know I'm like you're never alone. I said I've
Mm-mm.
noticed this. You came to Muskegon, which from where she is in Kalamazoo, Michigan, is about an hour and a half. She at that time she would come get me in for days at a time because I had that flexibility. I'm like, okay, well, can you come? And plus, she was my hairdresser, so usually she centered around when she had to do my hair. And then I'm there for a few days, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Well, so and so's out of town, and this one's there, and I just want to be. I said, honey, I noticed that you don't ever like to be alone with your thoughts. I feel like that's what it was,
Oh,
and I was right with what I was picking up on because she said it.
yes.
I don't. There's too much that goes on. I
Right.
said, then how are you really, okay, then how are you really functioning? Everyone, I don't care who you are,
Right.
you have to take that time
That's like my
for
favorite
you.
time. That is my favorite time.
I really have to, it takes, honestly, I'm just going to say it takes the Most High to push me out of hermit. I will stay in it like isolation, do
Me
what I need to do,
too.
right? And do my thing and whatever I need to do work wise and
Me too.
home with anybody that whatever I'm called to do, whatever assignment.
Me
But
too.
for the most part, that's where I'm the most comfortable. And I need it. And that's why I look at her like I'm so the opposite I can. Like I need to
Oh
have
no. Yeah.
that one-on-one time with me. And I feel like that's where she goes through the identity crisis. Like, honey, you
Well,
you have
yeah.
the you have all these energies that are latching on, and she's gifted. She doesn't even realize how powerful
Right.
she is. So you get pulled on, you're allowing it because it's the
It's a
codependency of I
brilliant
need it too.
thing.
I need it.
That was brilliant what you just said. All these energies latching onto you, absolutely. Of course, you would have an identity crisis. Why?
Yeah.
Because we are energy. So if you're constantly surrounded and you're not taking that time, number one, to go into prayer, connect with your higher self, with the Most High. I
Yes,
just
yes.
got confirmation on my phone with that.
Yes, ma'am.
Cleansing those energies, going into meditation, really focusing and removing all. It's almost like the movie Venom, where that
Yeah,
goo.
my grandson loved that movie.
Right. So you can't truly know who you are until you remove what does not belong to you and you actually sit with yourself.
Now that was brilliantly said. What doesn't belong to you?
Does
That's
not belong to you.
it
It
doesn't belong.
does.
And that's been a collective. Dr. Smo, that same video I told you where she was like, you all have to step away from people that are trying to call you out and make you explain things who you are that the Most High has already done.
Yeah, we don't need to
That's
explain
that. Those
anything.
aren't your people.
Yeah.
And she spoke on the exact same thing you just said. The exact same thing to show you it's a collective energy.
It is, and that's something that people are not aware of. That it's like tentacles. You have to remove it. You have to
You do.
cleanse your energy. And if you're constantly surrounded, that's why I always keep Florida water and holy water in my car. That's a good way. Or you can cleanse yourself. If we're energy, transfer it to another energy source.
Yes.
Remove it off
Yes.
your body. It does
That
not belong to you.
I just thought about that day when I was just sitting on the other side of the table and I was chopping when I was talking to you. Like, what are you
I
doing?
remember. I heard you. I
And I
couldn't
told you
see
I
you,
was
but I
just
heard you.
going and going, but that was therapeutic for
It
me.
is.
That was that energy transfer for me because I did wake up with heavy energy on me that day.
That
That was,
is.
I'm like,
I
you know what?
remember.
I need to do some food prep anyway. I just chopped it
That is a
away.
good way to transmute energy. Absolutely. Because you're
I,
transferring. Yeah.
when I say I tap into my inner alchemist on a regular basis, I have to because I am such an empath on such a level
Yeah, you're
that
absolutely
I get
alchemizing
so
it.
much stuff. Oh my gosh, as this big antenna that I am. And I'm getting all this in. And that's why I told her, honey, I'm telling you right now, your spiritual hygiene is out of order. It's
Mm-hmm.
completely
Mm-hmm.
out of order.
It
I know it
starts
when you
with
talk to me.
that. It starts with that so we can. Everything starts in the spirit, spiritually, and our spiritual hygiene. So, I mean, imagine depression or anxiety. I suffered from all of that, but my spiritual hygiene at the time, I was surrounded by negativity. My spiritual
Yeah,
hygiene was not good. I had to literally,
right.
prayer is number one. It is crucial. And
It
then
is.
you get guided from there and you're removing stuff and you're cleansing, you're going inward, you're pulling back, you're clearing out all the things that don't belong to you. And then what happens is that all went away. That all went
It
away,
does. It does.
and I
It
am
really
at
does.
peace. And what Dr. Simone said was brilliant. Anybody who is trying to get you to prove who you are or what you do, no. Anybody who's your person is already going to see you, like we mentioned, at a soul level for exactly who you are. And you have nothing to prove. We have nothing to prove to anyone. The
Do you
Most
know
High.
that is a collective theme? I think that our ancestors is because she channels ancestor energy, like I was telling you, um, and that came through. It was so clear, and she was so upbeat about it, but very, she leaned in, pointing the camera to the point of who she
Mm-hmm.
was channeling. Wanted us like they want you to know that don't compromise that in this
No.
season,
Know who you
and
are.
everything you need is going to be lined up. And I knew that was speaking to me because it has been just how this started to play out and evolve. I know it. I know that was something I needed to hear that I'm on the right track as I'm setting these boundaries
Yes, you
firmly
are. Yeah,
and making
absolutely.
sure that people understand like there's only so much explain and there's only so much talking
Nothing to
I'm doing.
exclaim. Yeah. No, you're going to show it with your actions and setting those boundaries, not operating in fear is huge. I
It
mean,
is.
It was pretty incredible. So last night, right, I'm so grateful for you and everyone. The Most High has led so many good people to our lives, but
Yes.
I was looking at the subscribers on the other channel, and I looked down. Ryan goes, "Mom, do you see where you're at?" And I go, "Oh my
I just,
gosh!"
I just see that too.
And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I got so emotional. I said, "He works miracles," because I'm going to tell you, my ex. I know we've been in narcissistic relationship, so I got away from
Okay.
domestic violence.
I'm
Somebody
so sorry you went through that.
no, but see, it's okay because it was for me, not to me.
Yeah.
I was not connect. See, hopefully people will understand that if I was connected to the Most High at that time and I was spiritually clean, then I would have been aware, but I wasn't. So
Right, right. True, true.
it was something I had to go through and learn. But it
Mm,
was a lot. It was a lot. It was 17, 18 years. But by
mm,
at the end, there were a couple things that really it was interesting because all the abuse, the cheating, the infidelity, um, everything like that, the sexual assault, um, that didn't make me leave. The
mm.
final straw of was when he told me he didn't believe in God. He believed in himself, and he told me to let my spirituality, basically let God save me. I'm almost getting emotional saying that, and I looked at him and I said, "I will." Well, that's blasphemy. That's straight blasphemy. He said, "I don't believe in him. I believe in," and I don't want to say his name. He believed, and I threw up my hands. So none of the abuse, none of anything that I went through, made me leave. It was that, and it's hit me, and I thought, who do I choose? The Most High. And I said, He will. I will. And this was a man before I left who said, "I will do everything in my power to make sure that you're working at McDonald's and have nothing." He didn't know that I'd be speaking on behalf, shining bright for my Father, our Father.
Mm. Okay, I'm trying to. If I'm contorting, I'm trying to keep
Look
my
at, no,
face
it's okay,
straight.
but look, that's why I'm getting emotional. I was not perfect. I made a choice to stay in something. Yeah, I was very low vibrational.
Mm,
I went up, down, up, down, up, down until tower moments happened, until I was broken, until I got sick, until I had to see so clearly and finally something clicked. So I wasn't perfect and we're
mm.
still imperfect, but it
Yes,
was so
yes,
but it's so beautiful when you do choose that because that's the past. That is the
that is.
past. We all have a past. We
Yes,
all
we do.
have been karmics. We have
Yes,
all
we have
operated in karmic energy. We have
energy.
all
Yeah, you
made
gotta know that.
mistakes. We have, this is, I wasn't, no, not sitting here with you doing
No,
this.
me too.
Right.
Me too.
We had to go
Oh
through
my
that,
God.
but we have a choice. So
Yeah,
right there
we
was a
do.
choice in front of my face:
Mm,
the Most High or abuse. The Most
mm.
High.
The
And it's
most I.
so beautiful, the blessings. And it takes hard work and it takes
Oh my God.
courage. It takes courage. If I would have listened to another human trying to prove myself as everyone was turning,
Mm.
then we wouldn't be here today. I
No,
would have
no.
cowered. I would have stayed. I would have said, I don't want to work at McDonald's. I was a cute little hostess at the diner right up the road. At a cute, I love it. I loved it.
And you are the cutest waitress ever there. I
Thank
know it.
you.
I
I
I
wasn't even a
know it.
waitress. They didn't even want to make me a waitress. I was the hostess. I was rolling the napkins and the forks, but
I
welcoming
love
everyone.
it.
I loved it. It was
You
right
have
before,
that fit you so much. That's you.
except for the
That's
energy
just
was
you.
too much for me. It was draining. All the energy's coming in. I was like clean, clean, clean myself like constantly. But
I can imagine.
we're not too good to do that. That wouldn't have
No,
been bad. We're not too, no one is better than anyone, and we have nothing to prove. We have our own
no.
journey. We have our own journey to be the best version of ourselves and follow our passions and dreams and follow the Most High. And let
We
that
do. We
in.
owe it to ourselves to give
Right.
it
So
to
we have
shoot that
nothing to prove.
shot.
Yeah.
I agree. We don't. And that's but honestly, for me, I didn't see that and believe that. I wasn't walking in that. I
Exactly.
my past was definitely not that. I wasn't boisterous. I wasn't
Right.
there were a lot of situations I didn't stick up for myself the way that I probably should have. And there were ones like it would just be kind of hit or miss where I just that explosion happened and I'm like, listen. But then it's funny because my kids, and they're always the ones that I go back to for the reference because they're the closest to me. They're like, no, mom, you've been consistent. No, you actually have. You don't realize how many times you walked into that fight, didn't even know that that's what it was going to be, but you handled yourself well in representation of us, whether that was schools with teachers or ones that were in that energy where you're like, okay, I can see something on you and it's not anything nice. So let me just call that out. Let's just have a conversation
Love
about
it.
it.
See something on
Um,
you. Exactly.
I
Something
did. I
on
did.
you.
There definitely negative attachments. And again, we've all been there. But my thing is acknowledge and honor feelings we have. Yes, stay in that and then keep treating people crappy and paying that kind of energy forward. I don't subscribe to that. And I
Yeah.
can't be around people that are going to keep having recurring subscriptions to that. I can't do that.
I like how you said it. I'm always saying like the hamster wheel, but I like that. That was better. That's
I don't,
true. No, no,
don't
thank you.
know. Let's cancel that subscription. Let's
Yeah,
cancel
I had to
that.
do that. Oh gosh. Something was made canceled. It is canceled. I something was brought to my attention yesterday and I go, I
Mm,
tried to give somebody that I knew that I cared about some tools because they were
mm.
operating in a very, very low vibration. Um,
Ooh,
and so I gave them, I was like, you need, like, what I would do. Because they were projecting. It was constant projection. Like, if you can't do this for me,
the
then
projection is out of control.
oh, I mean, it was,
Oh,
but it was very nasty. I'm telling you, he had a demon on him, but uh,
let's
so
just say
I
it.
try.
There's no other
I'm
way to
just
say
gonna
that.
say it, okay? Because so I kept trying to assist, and I was like, maybe taking a salt bath, and then if you
Mm.
want, I'll send you like, you can do an egg cleanse, you can do this, you can cleanse your energy, get holy water. I'll send you a care package. I will
Wow.
send you holy water, Palo Santo,
Wow.
Florida water, like I will send you all this stuff. And the person goes, I'll be fine, thanks. Oh, before that, I said, if I were you, I mean, you have free will, but
Yes.
go into prayer and surrender yourself to the Most High and talk to your ancestors. Like, because his
Right.
ancestors were telling me, he needs to come to us. We need to be elevated.
It,
And so
I
I
get
was
those
like, this
messages.
is,
I get
yeah,
them.
and this was guidance that and he knows exactly who I am. This was guidance that I was receiving, and I was obedient, so I gave it to him. So we can lead a
Yes.
horse to water, but we can't make him drink.
Make it drink it.
I said,
So powerful. So
yeah.
powerful.
He goes, I'll be fine, thanks.
Will we? I mean,
Wow. So as I'm laying there last night, because like I was saying, like our favorite times are going inward. Like I'll sit
yes.
there and I will take this time, like probably it was cute because you messaged me when I was working on our thing, like on our cute little
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah.
But right before and then after, I went into like my praise and talking to the Most High. And I was sitting there and I go, I need to see like what is going on with that person. I'm curious and I need these messages and these messages. And yeah, that's what they said. That he has dark negative attachments like demonic spirits, lust, codependencies, narcissistic tendencies, victim mentality, all of this, and it truly is because that's negative spiritual energy.
It is.
You did your
It's a
job.
lot.
Now pull back.
Back.
You got it. I listen.
It's all
Yeah.
you. It's all you. And at the end of the day, I won't make light of the fact that even with people that we've cared about and still do to some degree,
Of
when
course.
they're in that energy, you do want, there's that part of you that they pull at. That's why they reach out like that, that they know is, I know how to get to, if I could just pull.
Not
But I feel
anymore.
like that
Right.
era has come to an end,
Thank
and
you. See, I read your
we
mind.
We can't
Yeah.
like do it. And you're just in that season. Mine, like I said, beginning of the year, all of that energy and the blast from the past, the spin the block
Can't do
energy
it.
was coming
No.
in. And it's like, well, can we talk and can we I have been forgiving you so long
Right.
ago and really do hope that what we went through, the lessons you and I both learned, because you taught me a lot through those experiences. The Most High taught me through you a lot. If you can
Love that
take
you
that
said that.
now, because that's what it is. That's the pecking order. If you can take that and pay that forward now with the next one, that he blesses you to be in front of another divine feminine, which you would count yourself supremely blessed to come up with. Divine feminines just don't, just like we're not just getting knocked down by divine masculines everywhere. They're waking
Exactly.
up. But I'm just being honest. They're not just running at, they're just not in the streets. Hey, I'm divine masculine. Here you are. I'm looking for, I'm what you need. No, no.
I love you too.
If they were, if only, if
I know.
only they were. But it's the same with
Yeah.
that. When you have come across a true, for real divine feminine, the odds for real of you getting another one, if you did get
Normally
blessed
it
to get
doesn't
that,
happen.
you better, I hope you, again, those lessons should apply. Everything that you learned should be applied there. That what I went through and what I had to endure, you pass that on now because I'm sorry. And I get it. I believe you. But then there's that era of, if you talk long enough, there it is. Those attacks, it's still there.
Of
There's
course it
still
is.
that fear
That's why,
of that
yes.
ego there.
Yes. Oh, yes. And that's why I was guided to give those directions. Okay, go into prayer, do this, do that. And nope, I'll be fine. Bingo. That's all you got to do. If somebody can't, and I've dealt with that with many people in my life who've come
Yeah.
back and said that they need help or they're this, if they're still operating in that mentality where they will not humble themselves, and go literally this, not in front of me, you're doing this with all, with spirit, with the Most High, with Him inside of you. This could be secret. This is between you and Him. You're not doing it in front of me, but yet they can't humble themselves. So we give the guidance, and the minute they you're right, talk long enough, you can see the energy they're still
It comes
sitting
out.
in. But it does. They can't help it because it's an attachment. It has to be removed. It doesn't mean
And
we haven't forgiven, of course, because we have to free our soul. And
yes,
it frees that
yes.
attachment.
I can't, like, in that respect, I can't. It's to hang on to that stuff really is sickening. It makes
It's
you
a
physically
weight.
and mentally ill. It can.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
when they say stress kills. It
Yes.
really does cause so many things in the body.
Yes, it does. It
And
causes illness.
it causes it, and that's what is disease? Dis-ease. Break that word up. The syllables, dis-ease. That's a dis-ease of your soul,
Right.
of that spirit. It's not at ease.
Right.
And that usually, after going unchecked, our spiritual hygiene, the maintenance, meaning going to the Most High, like we go to our doctors, dentists, therapists, even for the mental. He's that ultimate. He is the
He is
ultimate,
all
the
of it.
only
Yeah, he is.
source, substance, limits, bounds of all of things. So
Exactly.
that's who you have to ultimately. Any psychologist,
It all
therapist,
starts with him.
psychotherapist,
It all starts with him.
yes,
Yeah.
it comes from him. When they are reflections in their field of study of what we should be going to him in private doing. We should be. And it's it's gotten to a it's gotten to a really critical tipping point where people are really having to get left, these timelines and these portals are getting collapsed, and you have to stay there. It's like there's a stark contrast I'm seeing of some people that didn't do it. Your time, they
Right.
gave you that time. And I'm having these conversations. I'm like, it sounds like
Right.
you have to start a new cycle, but where you are going to be forced to do some serious
Work.
work.
Do the work. I mean, we are triggering, and that's a beautiful thing. Being triggered is not bad.
It's a good
So,
thing.
but you can't continue moving forward ascending unless you're truly doing the work, because we're continuing to ascend. So we're not going to go back down. We're not going to.
No,
And if anything does trigger us, we're going to go inward and be like, okay, what work do we have to do? Why did that trigger us? Why? What am
that's
I
they
doing?
beautifully. And
What do I do?
this is why you're you, and that's why I love you.
I love you
Seriously,
too.
that triggering has to it's calling you the soul to look at something you push down that you refuse to look at
Inside.
inside. And you have, at that point, that triggering is okay. Why? Like you said, does anyone, I just had this
Right.
conversation. Have you asked yourself why you're feeling that way
Why? And why do you keep going in this? Like, for me, it's
in
like,
that
well,
same
why would I
direction?
want to feel that way again? Does it feel good? No. It feels, excuse my language, really shitty. I don't want to feel it. So I'm not going to do it again. Thank you for showing me. I'm going to go this way.
I mean,
I normally don't
it,
cuss, but
I don't understand that for the life of me as well. Like, I've had so many people, I've worked with people, and they're coming, oh my God, I had the shittiest day ever. Okay, okay,
what
let's
are you
talk
going to do
about it a
about
little
it?
bit. Right. So let's talk about it a little bit. The minute you want to expound and try to get pulling on out of them, I don't want to talk about it.
Puppy.
Is that Moon?
She's
Hi,
right down
honey.
there.
No, seriously, like it doesn't make sense to come in.
It's
You boisterously
complete.
tell everybody that I'm pissed off or I'm irritated. Oh my gosh! And somebody asks, okay, that's your out to. Okay, I'm gonna listen. What's going on? You want to talk about it? I want to talk about it. Oh, okay.
Right.
We don't have to,
So you're trying to
but
validate somebody's feelings and help them work through it, guide them through it, because that's your guidance as a
that's what
beautiful,
it
divine
was.
feminine, child of the Most High, and then they shut it down. But see, you did what you were supposed to do.
That's the and that, ladies and gentlemen, leads us into another lesson: is not getting out of the way of someone that he has some work to do on them. Meaning
Right.
that even
Step
down
aside.
to rebalancing those karmic scales of the debt that they've incurred.
Right.
A lot of times when we keep trying to go over that line, well, what else can I do? And I was that one who
Nope.
always want to be the helper,
No.
always want to be, and they're like, you need to step aside. Like it's
Aside.
starting to get louder. Like
Step
you're getting in the
aside.
way because they're under the protection
If
now of you.
not, if not, what I have noticed for me personally, like, I get tough love. And if I do not step aside, I get
That part.
punished. I
That
get in
part.
trouble. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm good.
That's
No.
you finished with the thought that I was thinking because when we
We
don't,
always do.
that punishment,
Mm-mm.
I don't want any parts. Like
No.
I don't know about you or anyone else out here listening. No, because I've
Mm-mm.
gotten that
And the
chastisement.
minute I go like this and I say, okay, I hear you very loud, they're like, okay,
Yes.
here you go, Molly.
That's
I'm like, thank you. I'm sorry.
I mean that's how it happens when you're like, okay, you're scared to
They'll
death, like
show
they
me
will
right
scare
away.
you to death.
Most high will have my guides come. Literally, something will go like off kilter, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
like in 1 second now, and it'll show me, and I'm like, sorry, never mind. All you, like I'm not gonna do it, and then it'll go back to normal, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's not
Like
happening. Thank you.
thank you. I love you so much. Thank you. Like, no, seriously.
No,
Like I've had those moments where I'm
stay
like,
away.
oh my goodness, that was
No.
that was a close one. Like where you're just like, my son. I remember the day he had a moment like that. He's like, you know what? I had a vision about it yesterday, and I called myself. All I know is I'm not going to do it again. And
Seriously,
it was
no.
his eyes. He went back to a little kid, and his eyes were twinkling, and they're scratched like you're looking like two big silver dollars, as my grandmother would say. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not doing
No,
that again."
no.
And I said, I wouldn't advise it, baby. You see what happens when we don't. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to. I don't. What did he say? I don't want the smoke. And I started laughing. He's like, I don't want the smoke. Like, I don't,
Like what
unless
I
I'm burning myself.
yeah.
And then we
Look
need
at
that.
which I have right here. I know exactly. It's like blessing. We're like on the track. We're on the right track, and blessings are coming, and we're seeing everything. Everything's good, and then That's our tower moment. That's our baby tower moment, because then we
Yes.
go to get in the way and we're thinking, oh, we're doing something good. They're like tower. Then they pull back. There'll be like a delay, or
Yes, the
maybe
delays
the
happen.
warning of like
The
pulling back your
freaking
blessings. Like I'll see that like blessings will start, and I was like, no, 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 no. I've worked really hard on this. No, don't take it away. I'm listening to you. Yeah. I mean, it's almost immediate now. These warning.
that's me. It's like, okay, but I needed that. Please, please. Then you
I'm
just get
sorry.
desperate. I'm
Because
so
the
sorry.
Most High does not want to give blessings. Scales are being balanced.
Yeah.
People are going to receive karma either way, good or
Good,
bad,
better, and different.
positive or negative.
Yes.
It
Yes.
depends on what we've put out. So we have to step aside and let them receive whatever karma the Most High in the universe feels and sees fit
And,
for that individual. We can't get in the way. We have
mm,
to go on
mm-mm,
our way.
mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. And I trust me, I've done the heavy lifting for all of us collective on that one. We just kindly and humbly, and let me please say that with humility, step aside, exit stage, right, left, whichever's closer, and and get out of there because
Because it's
they
not
really
stopping.
are. And the thing is, honestly, even in that, it's for you because our guides know that they are going to milk every bit of that protection that we have to get
Yeah.
under that umbrella of that protection. A lot of them know they don't have that level of protection that we have. Their guides know it, their ancestors know it. I've learned that. So it's kind of like, and depending on where certain bloodlines, because everybody in the bloodline everybody's ancestor didn't want the best for you. Something else I realized when I got a message loud and clear, like you need to be mindful of how you say it when you go into your prayer and ancestral energy. Every
We have
ancestor
to
wasn't
we
friendly.
have to elevate our ancestors. It's very important that we pray
That's
for their ascension. We pray for their elevation, because let's say they did operate in a negative way, our prayers ascend them to go to the Most High. It's very
yes,
important.
yes, which is the work that we do. I feel like that ties into breaking generational curses
Because they
and
have an
in our on our
opportunity.
ancestral line on the lineage. It's That's another thing that it's a lot. I'm really honestly in the thick of that right now. I'm one of those ones in my family, given that I have such a huge family on both sides. I'm the next to the oldest of seven. And I just explained to you about a situation prior to recording that's one of them. Like this gets broken, like no more.
Yeah.
I don't have excuses that I'm going to listen to because
Right.
I'm not giving any. At the end of the day, effort can be made. I get everybody has something going on, but children and where they said the pureness and innocence of them. No, that's where I drew the line. Like, okay, for me, I know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
I'm just not gonna sit idly by and not say or do anything. At least they will know if nothing else. Well, Auntie did reach out. She loves me. She wanted to make sure that they knew that they're still loved. And whenever the Most High sees fit, because I know in my heart I'm gonna see them again. I believe that. I have to. That's what keeps me where I don't go into a dark place thinking about the circumstances surrounding how they left,
Yeah.
which was really, really painful. It was painful. But like I said, the last pictures that I got, and that was his grace, that was the most highest grace that family was gracious enough to make sure we got it. They looked happy. I could see
Right.
that in their eyes. And I'm like, you know what? I thank you for that. I just thanked him. And that's where I leave it every day. I just send that coverage
He'll
like I do
protect
everybody that
them.
I love.
He's going to protect
Yes.
them.
And he's going to protect them. And I pray for that for everyone that I love and care about. But I am also learning that I'm such a caring, such like I'm that one that I'm praying for people around the
I
world that probably don't even
know. We
find
do
for
that.
them.
That's what we do.
You do
We're
the same
prayer
thing.
warriors. That's our
We're prayer
job.
warriors. We're prayer
That is a
warriors.
part of
And
I feel, our duty to the Most High is
yes,
to pray for
Yes.
everyone all over the
Yes.
world. That is
Yes.
one of our jobs.
It makes me feel good. It gets heavy. Like I have heavy feelings just even seeing it. As you were saying it to me, I always get this tingle. I get confirmation in my body. I feel a tingle. And that is something I have so many people where we have stuff going on in our own homeland and this that doesn't mean you can't just pray. No one's
But they're
saying
not
go over
you.
there and fight for them.
But they're not you. See, you have a Oh, I know what you're trying to do. And this is good because, yes, we're trying to get people to do this. But you hold a crown, my love.
Yeah.
You have your job, your power of prayer. Our power of prayer is designated for us. That
Yeah.
we've accepted that calling.
Yeah.
Not
True.
everybody has accepted that. We could pray for
True.
them. We could pray for them to let that in and to consider it and make that choice. But you
True.
have the power and authority
Yes.
the Most High has
That's
given
true.
you. So,
That that's just and to that
yeah,
I yield to the beautiful Molly Faye.
thank you.
No,
He wanted me to
seriously.
remind you of that, of who you are, and your power
Thank
and authority, and your ranking.
that's so crazy. I've been getting downloads about that. And that's where I'm really trying to make sure that I step up and I'm worthy of that. That's, you said
You
it.
are worthy.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Right. Right.
What comes with that? People, we get caught up in clout and what comes with a title. You are people really thinking about the responsibility that comes with it? What we really are crowned to do. That because I get that a lot, and that's where that evil eye, and I feel it's swirling around me real heavy. And this is why I'm very cautious, and I've been guided to that of who I'm sharing what with,
Yeah.
which goes into Dr. Smoll's message. That's why I knew it was for me. She says some people, if you feel like you got to explain what you're doing, or
Don't
the
explain.
minute somebody gets into, well, what is it about? What are you guys talking about? You don't have to watch this. This our podcast isn't for you, and that's okay. That is okay.
Right.
I'm just not going to get baited
No.
into a debate about it.
Why? What's the point? It's negative energy. We have nothing to explain. This is where the Most High wants us to be. He brought us together. We follow our guidance. That's same with the other channel too. I have people coming at me all the time. I put that evil eye up on both channels, but they're being seen. They're being seen for their negativity, and I've been ordered by my guides, by the Most High. I have nothing to prove, and that we do. This is a spiritual war too. This is absolutely
Very.
spiritual. We do not fight in the flesh. When I have people coming at me like, we're gonna fight and we're gonna do that. I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm not gonna fight. Like my team fights for me. I will speak the truth. I will speak the truth. I will do it with love, and I will do exactly what I'm guided to do because I'm obedient. But if you think I'm gonna start like some league to go out and fight things, no, I'll remove the energies though, because that's what I do. I'll remove
You
it off
do.
of you.
You do. You do.
I'll
You do it
cleanse.
well. You do it
Thank you.
beautifully. You really,
Thank you.
truly do. Like,
But that's what we're
I
here to
just,
do, love.
it is. And when I see you, like when you do your reads, when you're posting them, and just that you're so caring how you handle everybody's energy because you're like me, you're a powerful conduit. And I know what you're getting in. That's why at times that I'll call you, excuse me, and I'll say to you, what's going on? Like, because I can see it. Your face, just like mine, and there's an air of how you say things too matters. So I
Sometimes
pick up
my
on those little
guides, like
things.
my guardian angel, like they'll come on in, and I'm like, and we're gonna say that gracefully, because they're warriors, and
They
my
are.
ancestors too, and then the Most High, and then I turn to him, and he is like, how are you gonna? It's so interesting, Tamika, because he's like, how are you going to take these messages and how are you going to deliver them as I want you
Yeah.
to, my daughter, with
Yes.
grace? So it's like being a conduit, right? Being a channel of the divine, and then also taking our humility, our
Yes.
grace, is still in
Yes.
physical form, and it's for us to sharpen or smooth or just become the best version of ourselves so we can be that deliverer and
Yes.
do it in the
Yeah.
most uh, gracious way,
Yes.
divine way.
Yeah. That's it. That's what it's about.
It's
That
like our training.
it is. It
And you can see my
absolutely.
face sometimes because sometimes I'm like, did you hear me the other day? I was like, how am I going to say this like with grace? Like, because I have a lot of masculines. Like my dad is passed. Like, oh, you know,
Yeah,
but
I get it. I get that. And it's like, for me, like, I think, fervency is mistaken for aggression. And it's not, I'm
it's
not at
not.
all. I'm so non-aggressive in that way. It's though, when I feel like I have to keep harping, I guess the word I'm looking on a point, then it's going to get taken up so that, and that's my guide. Like you said, it's guided that fervency of, but are you getting what I'm saying? And I'm one that'll break it down. I do this with my children. And I did with my son. And I can tell the other things like, no, mom, that's not what I meant. And the wires almost got crossed. I'm like,
Right.
baby, so I backed down. Like, no, I wasn't saying it that way. This is what I was saying. And then he received it immediately. Oh, I get it, mom. I'm sorry, mom. I said, no, no apologies. We don't need to do that. It was just the wires got crossed on how we were communicating on the
And that's
receiving
okay. Look
of
at
that
how wonderful
information.
that is.
Yeah, that would
That's a
I
divine
pride
mask.
myself on that.
That is a beautiful, wonderful quality of a divine masculine who is being raised and has been raised by a powerful divine feminine. Okay.
Mm.
So
Well, yeah,
you do that and then you sit down, you communicate, and you break it down and you receives it rather than getting triggered and throwing projection at you.
yes, yes, yes. It's work. You said it earlier. You have to make that concerted effort to get to that healthy state. That's a healthy way of communicating with my adult, almost 30-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a kid, even though he is my baby. Ryan's
Of
your
course.
baby. They're our
Exactly.
babies.
Yeah.
I have two, I have my daughter. So yeah, he's the youngest, but he's my baby. He's my only son. And so I really do take great care and pride in that, in a good way, not pride in a bad way,
Absolutely.
but in a
No, I
good
get what
way.
you're saying. There's a difference between being
There's a
a
difference.
proud mom, loving your babies,
Yeah.
being proud of accomplishments, like, oh my gosh, look at these, I'm so proud of what I've accomplished, versus
Yes.
having pride. And that's where people get that mixed up. No, no, no. We're not saying being prideful, it's being proud of
Right.
yourself,
Yes.
acknowledging a beautiful blessing
Yes.
that has been given to you and your child. That's
Yes. That,
beautiful.
that
There's
is
a difference.
absolutely major. And that's what I love about you, Ryan. I love that because it mirrored, like I said, we reflect each other's lives in so many beautiful ways. You heard like my grandson who was just up all in my skin all
Oh my
weekend.
gosh, I
But
know.
I love that both of them. And,
Yeah.
Legend was with Kenny too. He loves being the runner's dad, but he's very comfortable because we had a hiatus. I didn't see my grandson, the youngest, for a year. And Kenny didn't see his son for a year. And that was really hard time for us. That was last year.
Yeah.
So that was hard because to watch that son that, you know, didn't have his father like that, that's wanting to be everything that his wasn't.
Of
And that's
course.
being, you're having that push pull, that tug of war. And he was just, I could see the exhaustion, but, we got through that. Nothing short of the grace and
Right.
love
I was
of
just
the
gonna
Most
say.
High getting us through that. Like,
Amen. Right.
because I had my moments where I would cry about it. Like, I don't want him to be the grandchild that's estranged. I have a solid, very close relationship with each one of them. And I was feeling that slip away from me. And I remember the day where I really went heavy. I'm like, I know this is a lot, but I surrender it. I don't want to be angry with her anymore because
Mm-mm.
I was really angry with her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't at the end of the day, because the way I started with her was in peace and love. And my son, that's what made them get to that point because he kept saying that my mom is not that person. Please stop trying
I
to make her
remember
that.
this. Yeah. That's no.
Yeah. And
That's
so
a
when we,
reflection of who she is. She's projecting that onto you when really she needs to
that's
go
what it was.
inward. Yeah.
And
No.
I really asked, I invited that. I really wanted because my son chose you. That meant something to me because you mean something to him.
Right.
So I really was trying to pour into her seriously because I really wanted to build that bond, especially once we found out she was pregnant. absolutely, my son is going to have his first. And he was hoping it was a boy.
Right.
So, for us to find out we had the reveal and that went good and then it just went so far left, he was devastated and I was devastated. I'm like, I
That's too
really,
bad.
wanted
Yeah.
this to work.
Yeah.
And, I kept praying about it. It got really, the good, the bad, the ugly. We talked about it. It got ugly. But at the end of the day, like now, we were just talking about pictures. I want to do family portraits. I've been wanting to do an Egyptian themed. That's going to be just for.
Ooh,
I
I
really want to
like
do an
that,
Egyptian themed photo
TIMECA.
shoot. You think that's good?
I
I think it's a great
love. Are
idea.
you kidding me? If that's what your spirit's telling you to do and that's your guidance, I think it's fantastic. I got excited
Yeah,
about it.
I'm excited.
Absolutely. If
I
it
felt
brings you
I'm,
joy and makes you happy, that is literally your ancestors and your guides like saying do it.
that's what I told Kenny. I'm like, what? I really
I
always
love
wanted to
it.
do. He knows I love Egypt. I want to go to Egypt, but I'm like, I really want to do that themed type of photo shoot for myself, and I
That would
really
be
want them to
fantastic.
be there. And I saw it in my mind. It was like royalty. I saw this whole thing.
Nice
Just
if you
it
could do
really
it in
was.
Egypt.
That would be.
That's just we're gonna throw that out there.
Oh my goodness! Do you know how giddy you just got me? We're like, most times that was your saying to
Why
me.
not
Are
just
you saying that's what I'm gonna
it
do?
was like a vision I had. So I spoke it.
When I say I'm so tickled because I know he plants those seeds. So
Of course
that's
he
why I just
does.
got
Yeah.
giddy, like real quick. Like you're planting the
Yeah.
seed. You're listening to me, and I love you because you listen to me so much. And sometimes I rant, and I say this when I'm in private, and my grandson heard me to me one day. Muffin, who are you talking to? I said, I'm talking to my father. I thought he wasn't here. It was okay.
He's everywhere. Yeah.
He was thinking
Right,
about my
right.
physical father, like,
Yeah.
but you said he's not here. You said
No, I'm
my
talking
daughter,
to
she was dying. That's not just come downstairs. Like, he's that inquisitive one. That's August.
That's
He's
so cute.
so like he asked those questions that let me know like you've been here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
certain of it that you've been here because he'll sit very seriously. Well, Muffin, so and so said in school this, that, and the other. And I don't really believe that. And I don't feel like I said, well, what do you feel? I don't know. I mean, are we really real? Like he asks questions like that. Like, are we real?
Wow.
And I'm like,
Whoa.
I told you that one, he's next level. He sits and he comes right to me. It's like he knows to sit in front of me and have those
Mm-hmm.
conversations. And he's 7. And I'm always amazed, amazed. So when we did his math and we were doing some of that, when I told you I didn't want him watching the idiot stuff, and I'm like, that we're
I
not learning.
know.
We're not. What are we learning from that? And
Right.
he when he couldn't give me an answer, he just sat with those big, beautiful brown eyes looking up at me like, well, I said, okay, since we don't have an answer, because I don't either, we're just going to find something else to do. And he was open for that. And and it ended up being in harder math that they're not doing for second graders, but he wanted to do it.
That's
He was like, no,
great.
I want to do it. I said, you do? I said, you're sure? I said, well, we're going to have to get paper because you're going to need to show your work because it was crazy. He looked at it and I'm watching him look at the screen as I put YouTube on the TV. So it was in a big, format.
Right.
And he was looking at that equation and then they gave you the 4 options, the multiple choice for the answer. And I had already done that in my head because I'm like, I know the answer is 76, but I'm not going to say anything. We're going to work it out on paper. He looked at shot and he kept looking. He was going to say one thing and he stopped himself. And that was it. He was like, no, it's 76.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I said, can you tell me how you knew that? He just looked around. He couldn't even, he was smiling, but he was
Right.
like, he didn't even know.
Uh-huh.
He just stood there like, it's
He
76.
got
I said,
that
no, you're right.
guidance. It came in. Yeah.
And I told him, I said, no, baby, I'm not saying you're wrong. You were actually right. So he got excited. Yeah, I said, but again, baby, how did you get to that?
The messages
And
came
then this is
through.
what he did, Molly. I can't make this up. He said,
Right. Exactly.
he pointed to his third eye,
Yeah.
literally. He was
Exactly.
like, I said, that's how you knew? He said,
Exactly.
yeah, right here. And I just looked at him and I kissed his forehead and I said, you're so freaking
Oh,
smart.
I love
You're
that.
so
Do you see
amazingly
what
smart.
the divine does? It's incredible. That's how they're leading. That's how. Hmm. If people would just listen,
That
like your
and
grandson did,
and
like
honestly, that's my goal. I want a school. I really feel like we need a school
that
for
is that would be
kids
great.
that at some type of academy where they're learning, where they're not going to be ostracized and made to feel some kind of way for wanting to inquire and learn more about their spirituality, grounding with earth energy, balancing themselves out. What these
I think that
energetic
would be
shifts, how they're affecting
amazing.
them. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I
I
think it'd be
told him that in the
amazing to
beginning.
have a mixture between uh, the going inward, ascending up through
Yes,
connection to self, listening to your intuition, learning about
yes,
discernment, prayer, surrender, right?
yes.
And working with your third eye, your crown, all your chakras, and then the grounding as well, being out in nature, grounding. Um, I'm almost thinking about the X-Men right now. It's like,
That's that is what I always give the example of. He loves Marvel. Spider-Man's his guy. That's his. When I say there was a TikTok, and I have to share that with you, he did, and there was this guy. There was a bunch of people started commenting. Let's show this little man some love. I love it. I love his energy. Just from him doing. He was standing on the bed and he jumped. And he was posed and he was in his shorts
that
and a
is so
t-shirt, and then
cute.
it jumped to him jumping into his Spider-Man costume in the mirror.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they did the graphics so
Yeah.
it looked like he just jumped into a different pose and
Mm-hmm.
was in the costume, and they
Mm-hmm.
loved it. And he just, but I told him, I said, what if I told you that you absolutely have the power within you here to do some of those things that we see superheroes do? His whole that right there, I can tell there was a catalyst for him and my grandson thing, because he was like, we can.
Of
He
course,
really
we
was
have the
excited.
power. We have the power within us to do anything. The only thing stopping us is truly our mind and doubt and fear.
And I don't want them. That's not an age I want for
And
them.
that's
That's
just
not.
a couple examples, but yeah, no. And you telling them that is going to be the catalyst, or is, and just being supportive of them to continue on this journey to be. It's about being free from fear and doubt and shame and guilt and being repressed. No, just you got this. Do it. Be
Do
free.
it.
You got it. You are
And he does.
capable.
He has that lion, and it's crazy. He's a Leo, but he has that energy, that spirit, the strength. I
Right.
see the strength card because he's so little, and all his friends, like I told you, they're bigger than him, and
Yeah.
he'll run with these, and it's always the bigger boys. Hey, August, they're dapping him up, like, and they're giving him, hey, and they'll lean in and they're giving him, and I'm like, he's the little. Tage and I always say, like, it's amazing to me that these big boys, or when he plays football, he's running, go August.
His spirit is big. It's
It's so
strong.
big.
It's
It's
beautiful.
so they love it. They're just he's the coolest ever. I always say when I post them sometimes the cool kids. Here's another picture of the cool kids. And he loves when I say, yeah, I'm a cool kid. I said, you are. You're very cool.
Aww.
I said, you make me feel cooler. So then it just became a whole thing. But he did that day when he spoke to you. It was so cute when he was leaving with Tasia. And you're like, is that him? Tell him I said hello. And he's like, bye, Molly.
He's so
And
sweet.
and then he looked at me, he said, is that your best friend, Muffin? I said, she is. Babion's my best friend.
He's so cute. Oh my god. They're all so sweet. We have beautiful families.
Such a beautiful blessing. I can't.
Thank you.
They really
Exactly.
are. And even Moon Puppy, and that's what I want. I need my animal part
Yeah.
of it. I need that. I've been wanting that so badly.
She
I
is
really feel like I'm that
funny.
energy. She
My spiritual bath, she's all sitting there, and I was like, "Can I have any alone time?" Like she's just sitting there waiting. I took a shower today, and she's laying right there while I'm showering. Like she is right there all the time.
it's you. It's
You'll
your
have that,
beautiful
my
light,
baby.
and it's that beautiful energy. You can see that even in her, like when you post little pictures and her face. And so I'm like, I can't take her face. It's
I
too
almost
cute.
left her with my ex too. Oh, she did
Me
not.
too.
Well, I originally got her for him. I had Daisy. He wanted another pug. I remember Ryan and we went to go. I don't know if like my stepdaughter was with us. I don't remember, and I don't remember for a reason, so I'm not going to go into it. But we picked Moon up. We got her. She was the cutest thing. And when I left the first time, we left Moon, and I will never forget the scream that came out of her when I left her behind. Um, Never again, huh, puppy? And then when we got back together, I had both dogs. And we actually had a guinea pig at the time too, named Lucy. It was Ryan. She was
Oh,
adorable. She was so sweet. So I
oh,
had all
that's
the
so good.
animals and Ryan. We were separated, and my ex was like, "Why don't you bring the dogs over here? We'll see how they do. We'll share custody."
Mm,
He like wanted to share.
mm,
I took the
mm.
dogs over there, and he called me like shortly after. I can't even go get the mail. They're screaming. They're making so much noise. Come get them. I'm. You got it. I'll come get my dogs. And it was
Right.
over. After
That's
that,
it.
all
It
mine.
was meant to be. That was
Yeah.
meant to be under that beautiful
Yeah.
light. And my grandchildren now, like they're wanting, they're just harassing the hell out of Tasia for one. And she want, but it's that battle of what breed she wants a husky. So, I just think at this point, I don't think anybody cares. August is just at the point he just wants a pet of some sort.
Yeah.
So, and I've become the neighborhood cat lady. So it's just, I
I
told
sent
you I
you.
had that strays, and then I looked and there were twin black cats, and I'm like,
I sent
oh,
you the information on the black cats. They're very lucky in many
I,
different cultures and traditions. That is
when
a
I say
fall. That's
that
what
one,
man wants to say that they're bad luck. No, they're not. Look at all the different cultures, traditions of the luck and prosperity and beauty that they have.
thank you for sharing that because, the irony in that is I had a black cat, the Boca, and she was, I loved her, and I'm convinced someone took my cat, but she was given to me by the owners of the a job I was working at the time. I was administrative for them, and the son of the owner, with the whole family was very cool. They took to me and they spoiled me rotten at that job. And his wife at the time, it was the dog, it was the cat, they weren't getting along. Something's got to go, and my dog's not going. And I'm laughing like that's selfish, because he would talk to me when he come in the office. And she'd come in on a different time, later in the day, like, is Jack around? He was like, just let her know. And he'd be on the speaker, saying little stuff. She's like, I know he's listening. And I'm laughing like, I'm not in it. I'm not in the middle of this. But they were having that debate. She's like, did he tell you about what he's doing with the dog and the cat? I said, listen, I don't want to see you guys battle over it. But I said, I do have a solution that, if it's where you have to take defeat and you have to take your cat somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I said, my kids want a cat. And they did end up giving her to me.
Oh, that's
And my kids,
awesome.
Kenny and Tasia were young, but they loved her, and I did too. And she was all black. She had the most beautiful eyes,
Yeah.
but beautiful black shiny coat. And that's why when I look at these cats, I'm like, they look just like her.
I grew up with two black cats. I actually had a total of three. One got out. My mom left and dad let him out. But I grew up with two. They're beautiful.
Oh, they are. I feed her, like I said, she looks so emaciated because she's a stray. But I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this cat just keep withering away to nothing. And I'm seeing that when I
It's
take the
good you're
garbage out
feeding
where I
her.
was seeing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
she was jumping on the garbage, and I'm like, I'm just gonna put some food out there. Kenny was like, okay. And I asked him when he take it out on his way out, and when I put it out there, and sure enough, I looked later on that night, it got dark and it was gone. And now she kind of just, it's that feeling out like,
Yeah.
are you cool? Are you really good? She'll just sit there and watch me, watching her, and watch me. And I'm like, I have some more food if you want to be friends. And she took it and she just ran away from me. And then that's when she came back when there was two of them. I'm like, oh, so you
She's like,
dispatched her?
look. Yeah, she did. She's like, look, come here. We're going to get some food. She's nice. She cares
That's
about
what I
us.
felt like. She'll feed us. So cute.
Aww.
But no, it's just like people, I've seen people being abusive to some of these animals
Mm.
because they're strays. I just don't have that in me, Molly. I don't.
Oh,
So,
you never know what they're
I
going to
try
come
to.
back as. I'd better be careful. You might come back as a little tiny mouse and the cat might eat you.
That's so crazy. I talked about that about incarnation and coming back as some type of animal spirit or something. And,
Or
people don't
just
think
a
that
little
you
bug.
can.
You can get hmm.
That's a discussion for a whole other day because it's something I hadn't really delved into, but I believe that. I'm like, no, I believe
I
you
think
can.
anything is possible. Anything is possible. Why
That's
are
my
we
thinking.
limiting? Anything is. So that's why we have to be careful.
We do. I'm just, this has been
That is a
like such a
conversation for
fun,
another day. I know. This has been amazing.
it's been so good. And I know we're going to just keep doing it this way. And I love it till I'm there and I can just hug you
I
and,
know.
and
I'm
just because
excited.
I know I'm going to break down by, so I'll make sure you're prepared. You have a raincoat and stuff. because
I
I
can't
know
wait.
that
It's
it's
the
going to
time
be
is
emotional.
almost here. It's coming.
And I'm
And maybe
excited.
I'll
And
get to come visit you until that happens. That would be
yes,
awesome.
I would love that so much and show you Michigan. And, and I do love about our state, even though I am ready for a change. But the beauty of it, and I always say that about growing up here, is seeing this. You can see the seasons transition. You see every
Right.
season transition, and that's so beautiful to me, especially autumn. That's my time. I love that. I love the smells. I love the
It's
colors
beautiful
of the
right now.
trees, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's so pretty. But I love
Beautiful.
water. And we are a lakeshore town, bordering
That
Lake
would be
Michigan. But
amazing. Yeah.
I do want to be situated near so
Mm-hmm.
badly. It's so calming. It does something to me. It's
Water
peaceful.
is, yeah, there's something different. I miss the water.
Yeah, I
I
see. Yeah, you
definitely miss.
California. So I bet the California coast was amazing.
Yeah.
So wow, I have a whole. Hold on, you guys. I'm so sorry. We're in the middle of recording. There's somebody at my door. Hold on.
Okay.
She passed before. She's walked past down this block in this neighborhood. And the funny thing is, I said it to my son. I'm like, I said, she has some type of addiction, and I wasn't even saying that in a mean or judgmental way.
No, yeah.
Just the way her behavior, and he even picked up on it. And she was just like, she was needing, I forgot what she even asked for. Actually, she asked if she could sleep on the porch. And
Uh-uh.
Kenny, we were so thrown. Like, Kenny was like, I said, well,
There,
honey,
she's, right.
I said, there's a shelter because there's a
Right,
shelter
I was gonna
literally
say a shelter.
about 3 or 4 blocks over from us, the women's shelter, because they have a men's and women's shelter here. And I was like, honey, if you need to go somewhere, I have the address and the number of a shelter you can go to. Ironically, that I stayed at. Kenny was a baby 28 years ago. I had to stay at that shelter.
I've been to
So
a women's shelter too.
that's a part. That's another story we have for another day, another
Mm-hmm.
podcast. But no, I was telling her. I said, there's good people there because there is at least one lady that still works there that worked there when my kids were really little, and she was just kind of like okay, and she was kind of twitchy, fidgety.
Yeah, because I don't think you could. Do they take you if you're on anything? No.
Not that at that one, and they have places for that, but the particular shelter I was speaking of, no.
Yeah.
They tried that, and that didn't work out. And I understand that from the business of it standpoint and
Right.
safety
And safety,
of
of
other
course.
people that needed somewhere to stay. But she was just trying to sell something, so that confirms
Yeah.
what I told Queen the first time. I'm like, I think and I feel that's what I mean. That heaviness of, and she literally looked just so defeated when I just told her, because she was like, well, I'm selling this. Can you buy this from me, or do you want to buy? Molly, what do you like when it comes to your doorstep? I still feel her energy, like she's lost. She's so lost. And there's so much of that.
I
I know how to pray. Like, you know what I mean?
I would
And
pray
I've
for
given and
her
I
to
give
see
stuff away.
if it would. Yeah, that's because she has to. It sounds like she wants to make changes, but it's like, um, I wouldn't buy anything because you don't know where it's going. If anything, she needs prayer and cleansing and healing. That's what she
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because I thought
And we
about,
just
like I only have a few dollars cash on me and I thought about giving it to her, but I heard it like, no,
you don't
no.
know where it's going. That okay? I'm gonna say this might sound really negative, and I'm not trying to. But let's think about it this way. You give her money, right? Because this is a true story. These are true stories that happen. You don't know where it's going. That could be the couple dollars. So you got in the way, we say step aside. That could
Mhm.
be the couple dollars that could end her life
Yeah, for real.
of an
Seriously.
overdose. That's the message I'm getting. Or you could refrain, let the Most High take over, let her have her towers, pray for her,
Yeah.
and hopefully she knows where the shelter is because you've given her or you told her where it is, so now she has an opportunity to make that choice rather than just giving her the money and then you never know where that's truly going to go and how that can harm her, because that does happen to people.
Yeah.
So
It is. I'm sorry. I'm seeing people walk past that window.
No, that's
Okay.
okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I had
it's
I had somebody reach out to me. They said they hadn't eaten, they weren't working, they needed money. I well, there are churches, there are shelters. Me and Ryan have had to go to the church and get free food. We have
yeah,
done that, and I'm not too good to do that, to go and ask for assistance. I didn't get it from the
yes,
government. I've worked my butt off to have everything. We've gone to the church. We've gotten free food, which they were
yes, me too.
so
It's been years.
amazing. They are
Yes,
so incredible. Yeah, it's been a while, but it's like we were kind of in between, and it was like I don't know what we're gonna
yes,
do. Like,
yes.
um, so luckily that's where we were led, and they were so amazing. And when we got it, I was like, oh my gosh, Ryan, look at all this amazing stuff. He was like, Mom, this is incredible.
It
They were
is.
so,
It's
they're like, do you
beautiful.
need feminine stuff? Do you need dog food? I was like,
They are. They
you
are.
are a
And my
gift
goal,
from
yes.
God Himself. I love you. But I've given, people have come to me and said, I need money, or I need this or that or that. I don't have this. Okay, well, you can make these changes. Okay.
Yeah.
And here's
Yeah.
shelters in your area. Here's
Yeah.
churches in your area.
Yeah.
Here's
They are.
this. This is another option. No, I can't do that. Well, I can't give you money, but you can go to a church. They'll take care of you. I don't
But you
belong.
got to answer.
I don't belong to the church. You don't have to belong to the church. They're not going to turn you away.
Way they don't, and that is 100% facts. They do not. So that lets you know
Yeah, they don't.
we talk
I
about
went
this.
firsthand. I didn't belong to this church. They took care of us.
Exactly. It's intention. We how many times we keep going back to intention,
It is
and that
intention.
person's intent, what with that money was not what you gave
Because
them
they
all those
could
options.
go, yeah. And you guided them in the right direction. That is what's most important.
And that's where, this is where truly it's emotional for me because I know I'm going to be blessed. I know we are being blessed. But when I absolutely touch abundance, that I can do something with it. And I know that's what I'm being called to do. I've gone through tests financially to show, okay, are you ready? Or what are you going to do with it? I have so many things. That's part of it. I want to have places where, without all the red tape that women can come and get, men too, but women really need. They need that support out here.
Oh
They're
my
single women
gosh,
with
the
children. You just spoke
women
about a
and
situation.
children. I think anybody who, yeah, I agree with you because it's very, they're out there, but they're not. I remember when I was going through getting away from domestic abuse, and I remember I had to drive away and sit in my car and call these places. I asked for help from I don't even know how many places. I even went to the DA. No one helped me. They said the charges probably wouldn't be filed. I called First Slash Tires. No one cared. I've gone to shelters. I've done all of it. People need help.
They
People
do,
need
mommy.
help.
They need it
They
badly.
really
They
do.
do. They do.
And
And
I remember when we first came out here, we didn't have a place to stay, and I was driving around and I was trying to get a place, but my credit isn't the greatest due to the divorce, and uh,
yes, been
he
there.
and that's okay. I'm fixing it, but that was a part of my journey, and so I talked with a man, and I was trying to explain this to him of everything that happened. He's like, with all due respect, how can I believe what you're saying? How do I know that's the truth? Okay, why would I lie? Like, you can look into it, but you're not for me. Automatically, I said, thank you, but no thank you. You're not for me. Because I
That's it.
shouldn't, now we're going back to having to explain ourselves. I shouldn't have to explain myself to you. You can
That's
either
hers.
assist a mother who just came out from California, her child,
Absolutely.
and animals, and you could do it, and I have the money for you or not. And he was very very judgmental. That's not who I want to be. That's not who I want to rent from
No,
anyways. So thank you so much, but I have nothing to explain to you. I'm dealing with enough. Goodbye. And
goodbye.
we pulled over, and there was like a field around us, and I had the dogs, and I go, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know where you want us to go, because our Airbnb fell through. It was really bad and very dangerous. And so I'm sitting there with the U-Haul, Ryan with the dogs in the car, and I'm standing out in an empty field looking around going, where do we go?
What am I going to do?
And
Where do
we
we
were led, and we were led. But yeah, we were home. We were basically homeless, for a couple weeks. It was a fun
No,
adventure.
honey,
It was a
take
good
that to
time.
it was it's funny, my grandchildren just brought that up. The oldest, Anari, he turned 16 December 4th. But he was talking about how August was the baby. So this was 7 years ago when I with my ex, and what happened and how we parted ways. And I ended up, we had to go to a hotel. And I remember sitting
Right.
at that storage unit, and I think I told you that story.
Good old storage units. Aren't those fun?
That, yeah, yeah. I was sitting there putting the last round,
Mm-hmm.
the load in my car,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the one that didn't want to leave my side. My daughter had to take August. He was a baby, and Anila was about 4 or 5. Um, to the hotel. I'm like, you have to go to the room. Like, it's late, and then it got to raining. So I'm like, around this time of the year that year, as a matter of fact, and it was holiday season. So I'm like, it was coming on. We had gotten through Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Christmas was coming and the New Year was coming, and we were in this big transition. And I sat
Yep.
there, looked around, and the rain started to turn to snow. And we were sitting there, and my grandson, he just kind of put his head down. I think he could feel it. We were quiet. And I said, I'm so sorry. It's coming back to me how I felt.
Right.
And I said, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to be going through this, honey. And he was like, but Muffin, it's okay. I said, it's not okay. And I mean, the tears were just streaming. And I said, it's not okay.
So
Because I don't know what
interesting.
we're going to do. I don't know what, I said, Grandma doesn't know for once in my life. I don't have an answer. And I'm used to
Exactly.
problem solving. I'm used to getting that answer. And I didn't have it. I
Such a
didn't have it.
vulnerable moment. Yeah, and you're
It
sitting
was, and
here.
that's why it's coming back to me now. Because the kids, like, sitting there in that love, that pureness of them, it was like, if you don't fold, I won't. But the minute I did, he did, and I couldn't stop it. He just cried right
Right.
there with me, like, Grandma, it's okay. And I'm like, this isn't. And
It's
I'm
just not okay. See, we it's absolutely not. I think if people would work on their spiritual hygiene and their mental health, emotional health, then people wouldn't go through this rather than operating. And I am getting a little feisty with this, operating
yes,
in greed and ego, um,
yes,
because that was something that was said to me. Like, my ex wanted me to stay with him even though he was committing infidelity, was an alcoholic, and had RAPED me. And did I say that right? Yeah.
yes,
And all of these things, and was wanted to go travel and get taken care of, pleased by random women while I sat there and stayed with him, and he threatened me if I left he would take me out. So it's not okay. It's not
I,
okay, because as I
it
sat
pisses
there,
me off so
as
bad.
but no, but don't let it. But as I sat there in your time out of storage unit and put all of my stuff to where I knew it would be secure, watching my entire life of what I could take in a
Yeah,
storage unit while I'm trying to protect my child and have him
yes,
graduate from high school and my animals, and I'm going through all these transitions, it's not okay. It's just not. For what? For power and control? For your ego?
yes,
No.
yeah,
And finally, and that's where we have to surrender. And I did. I left pretty much everything behind. And I followed the Most High. And you know what? For our children, for anyone's children, to have to go through that, or just
mm,
anybody,
anybody, yeah,
is not
anybody.
right.
It's not. It's not.
And people
It,
turn a blind eye or a cheek. And it's ridiculous. So people do need help. That your little baby should not have had to feel that pain. None of
it,
our
it,
children.
it really, like, I remember for 3 days. I was sitting, look out the window. There was the long driveway to that particular
See, I
hotel.
got a little
Went
passionate.
into it,
I don't like
and
that.
I looked out the window, watched the snowfall, because, like I said, it transitioned from it sleeting and rain to snow for the next so many days, and I would watch it fall. How did I get here? I kept going over that, and I'm like, how
How
did
did
I?
I get here? How did
How did I get?
I? How did I? Not what did they do to me? No, how did I get here?
And yeah, you're right. I never got in that projection energy of it was everybody else's fault.
No.
I really just went, how,
How did
and that
I
was
get
me
here?
crying out to the Most High, show me what I need
Right.
to change.
And how do
So
I
this
get out of here?
how do I get out of it? And I don't want to feel this. I'm hurt so
Right.
badly. I was so in a bad place. And I'm looking at these babies that thought that was a whole staycation. And we were there 3.5 months in that hotel. Ladies that cleaned for me were such a blessing that would
You
regulars for
turned
my
it
room.
into a blessing. You had people cleaning for you.
I did. That
That was nice. That
was a
was,
positive.
yeah.
And they did. She was Hispanic and she was so sweet. And I remember August was having a day and I was trying to get all the clothes together for laundry. And then I knew, I'm like, oh, it is time for her to come clean. And usually she'd be like, I'll come back, no worries. And she grabbed him. She took him off the bed. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was trying to help you get the bedding together. Because sometimes I would help. She wouldn't have to come in and do anything. I'm very clean like that. But she grabbed him and she was like, oh, it's
Aw.
okay. It's okay, little one. No, that's what she kept saying. It's okay, little one. And she's just holding him. And she knew how to cradle him. And he just looking like, and he's just drooling. And he eventually, like, and he stopped. And he just kept looking at her. She looked at him and she was, that was a savior at that moment for me. I thanked her so much because Asia was working. And
Right.
I'm like, thank you so much. And I had to go to work that night. I was working nights. So I'm like, we were doing this with these babies. Like there was so much, but it ended up, it did. There were so many good moments and that's what my grandson was reminding me that they remembered that I said to myself, you know what, excuse me, that's what it's about. That's what it was that he didn't even think about
It's
that
true though.
crying and that moment in front of the
It's true. There, when you look back at the trials and tribulations or all these times, when I look back too, Ryan will be like, "Do you remember that, Mom? Do you remember that?"
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
we're the Most High will turn
yeah.
it into these precious memories, and it's like I can't believe we did this.
Yes,
Like
yes,
it really
yes,
does. Like me and Ryan will
yes.
laugh at certain, and that's for another day. But there are situations where I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was actually really funny. Like that's a great memory. Thank you. I'm glad I went through it. I mean, at the
That's
time
what
it
you
wasn't
know.
fun, but
It
yeah,
wasn't, but when you can look back at it and
yeah,
take that from it,
uh huh.
you have ascended and you have healed and gotten to that
Oh, it's
sweet
great.
spot. And it's so
I like
great
the
that
sweet spot. I'll take the
I
sweet
love
spot.
that the messy sweet spot. There's a channel on YouTube, and I love it because it's so fitting. I'm like, this is where life is. It's the messy sweet spot, but it's great.
It is.
It's
It
it's
is.
so beautiful, and I really look back at some of those times now, and I can see it, just like getting that gift of my childhood memories that were
Yeah.
good back.
I know. I
That's
know.
amazing
I
because at that
know.
pep rally, I was like, "What?" My daughter just put your hand down. And I'm like, I really went back to when I was in that building, and it was a different nostalgia, like I said, than I had when I was there. I was very withdrawn. So this was, I felt like I had my moment. He let me have it through my granddaughter vicariously, and we embarrassed the heck out of her, and
Yeah.
it was great. It
I
was
love that.
absolutely great.
I love
She's
it.
running off like, no, I'm not going to look over there. But she really, was happy, and that's what mattered. She was happy that we came because she didn't know we were
Absolutely.
coming.
That's really
So
what
I want
matters.
all kids should have that. Like it should be that. And I see kids that don't. Kenny works at school. He's a teacher. So all these kids aren't getting it, Molly. They're not.
That's why we
And
have to
I
make a difference. We have to make
we
the
have to
change.
make
It starts, we got it. That's why we don't pull back in fear. We keep
no,
going.
we
It
do.
takes
Yeah.
hard work. It takes time, yes, but we don't know how much time because really divine timing is different than our time. I think we
It
release
is.
that and things, it'll just flow when the Most High feels like it will. And we will make those changes. We will.
We
And the
will.
right
I
people
know
will
it. I
come in.
know we're doing it right now. And that's why
Yeah.
I'm excited because there's so many things that I know we're gonna do and build
I
and
know.
and,
Oh, you
and
got so
more of the
excited. I
divine
saw a
collective.
childlike spirit just pop out of you right there. That was so cute. I loved it. We are. We
I love it
are.
because I see it. And everybody that's joined us, that's been coming on the lives, Nancy, Joseph, everybody. it's just been such, I'm just like finding Soul Tribe has been a whole different thing for me.
I,
Like seriously,
I know.
that resonate with you, that you can bounce off things that you're feeling and not, am I crazy? Or they're looking at
No,
me
you're
like I'm
not.
crazy
Yeah,
because I did
no.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Am I a freak? Like I would have these thoughts. Like, am I that? Like, because these are the things and this is what I see. And I know people don't see what I see except my
They're
kids
not
because
supposed to see it. Not everyone's supposed to see it. It's for you, or the ones that who can see.
I love you.
I love you too.
This has been so good. You know what?
You're
Maybe we
welcome.
should challenge the collective to get in the comments and let us know what they want us, if there's something that's been on their spirit, what energies you all have been feeling that
Right.
you all want us to touch on. Because I've been getting a lot from people around me that are definitely they're trying to figure it out. I didn't even realize that it was Mercury retrograde. I had this retrograde is retrograding, and that's what I saw in somebody's post.
It's retrograding. I don't even pay attention to Mercury retrograde. I just keep going. I just
I
keep
don't.
talking to the Most High. I'm like, okay, let's do this. I got it. I'm listening to my guidance. I really, maybe I should pay more attention, but that's not where I'm guided. So that's good that you mentioned it. See, that's bringing out something that I need to be aware of.
Yeah, Molly, I really usually I am. That's my ruling influence as a Virgo is Mercury. That's my ruling planet. I really and usually I feel it because of that influence. That's and I heard it clearly that you don't feel it. You're balanced. You don't feel it the
But there
way
was a
other
reason why you
people.
just said that to me, and I love it, and I'll tell you later. That's interesting. Huh. I love how they speak. So, no, you're not
I
crazy.
know, right?
We know
Okay.
what we know, and things are brought to us for a purpose and a reason, always at the right time. You're brilliant.
Yes.
Thank
It's
you.
isn't it?
You're
Isn't it?
brilliant.
I just love it so much. And I'm really
I love you,
happy that we had
Tamika.
a chance to do that. I love you too so much. Like I know you guys see this. We do this. We really do this just so you guys know when we have conversations that go on like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
No joke. Like, and we don't even know that, but this is how we are. It's just that when you have that affinity for someone, what I told you, the energy that I've been feeling is either repulsion
Absolutely.
or really an affinity to that person.
Yeah. Because we are. We're going to either people are going to be repulsed by our loving, fun nature, our light, that genuineness, that happiness, because people need to heal still, and that's okay. Or they're going to, yeah, love it.
They're gonna love it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd rather be in love and light. But what I will say very firmly, I understand I'm not for everyone, and that took a long time to get here because of and being in people pleasing energy, and that's a byproduct of narcissistic abuse, that codependency. But I'm good and okay with the fact that my personality may not be for everyone.
I'm not for everyone either. I'm not. We're not every. What is that? We're not everyone's cup of tea. We're a glass of champagne.
You're just
You're exactly where the right people will enter our lives who we will be their cup of tea or
and that's
champagne.
what's
They will love
happening. That's
us.
beautiful. That's what's beautiful because
I hope
that's
I
what's
said
happening
that
now.
right. Yeah.
You did, and it's beautiful, and I love it. But what's funny? I'm laughing so hard in my head with the image I'm seeing. My daughter with TikToks. I told you the funny TikToks, and I got some I have to share with you. She sent me this one, and it's all these singing shows.
Oh,
So this
yes.
one was worth auditions, I think, on the X Factor, whichever one
Uh
Simon
huh.
Cowell's on.
Uh huh.
I told her, I said, are we serious? Are we taking this seriously? The man was what he was singing, bless his heart. I don't even know what pitch that was. Kenny came out of his room like, who is that? His face was screwed up so bad. Like, who is he? I'm like, your sister sent me this foolery. And man was singing and I believe I can. It was the way in his purpose. And he's leaning
I
into the
gotta see
microphone
that.
at the shades and he's animated. And Taylor's like, and all that animation, and he still sounds a mess. And I'm like, stop. But she was like, oh, it gets better. And when he was getting to the crescendo, to the beat, Simon, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He kept trying to say it to get him to stop, and he said, I believe, thank you. So he finally stopped. Like he was like, so you come in here with a name like Champagne, and you sound like house wine. I died.
Oh, that's perfect.
Because
That
he
was
called himself
perfect.
Champagne. So he was like, no, it's more like house wine. And then the whole panel was trying to be
Oh
nice and
my
they're covering their
gosh.
mouth, they're laughing. And I'm like, that was really cool. But I laughed so hard because the man's face was
That
just that like, he just, he's like, okay, you can go now.
sometimes
Like,
people need a harsh truth, you know?
they
And
do.
Simon's really good at doing it. So he definitely
Oh
is.
my gosh.
Same with
No,
Gordon
but it's,
Ramsay. But no, if
yeah.
anybody has anything that they've been feeling or going through or any questions or anything that they have, please put them in the comments. Let us know. And um, any questions, we'll address them.
I'm
You know.
so sorry.
No, it's
I
okay.
have to look because we've talked about the weirdness, and that's going to be another day. When I left that message when I was taking a bath last night,
Oh yeah, let's do that next time. Yeah.
so I've been really looking around because yeah, I know with certainty now what the heck is going on. So
We
I'm
can
not bringing.
record, yeah, we can record one and talk about it because that's on a heavy. So we'll get there. You're
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but we're good. But this was great, you
I
guys,
know.
and please let us know in the comments what you guys would like to talk about. Anything that you feel guided and comfortable
Right.
sharing with us. We
Please. And
definitely don't want you to not be comfortable.
and if you want to come on and talk, or if yeah, on one of our podcasts, please reach out to us too. They can.
Yes.
I'll put your email again, and I'll put
Yes.
my website with my email in there, so they can contact either one of us, depending on which cup of tea they like better, or both.
I love tea.
I love tea. I love all tea.
I told you.
I will
I love
take
tea.
all the tea.
All of it. I need somebody gave me, I hope I find it. She was starting to embark upon her journey with making herbals, and I thought that was a great idea
Ooh,
because it's something I want to get into, stuff that's organic, homeopathic things. And she was
right.
putting all these good concoctions of tea together. I'm gonna have to ask Kenny because it was somebody that he was friends with. If she actually did start her tea company because
That's
she has some good
amazing.
yes, and we
I
want to
love it.
support that stuff too. So yes,
Yeah,
she did that, and I want to get some because I do like tea, and it was something
I
that I would
like it
share with
too.
my grandfather. He liked tea.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
loved it.
I
So
love it
you
too.
guys, I thank you guys for
But
being here.
yeah, because I don't want you to think that you're not everyone's cup of tea. I think that you're wonderful to me. That they're making this very clear right now. You shine very brightly. That is beautiful. And
Thank you.
same with me. Even when I'm like calm, it's our
Yes,
shine. It doesn't matter. We are
yes,
who
you
we
do.
are, and
You do.
the right people are gonna come.
They are, and because the right person is in front of me. That's my soul sister. I really feel
Me
that
too.
on so many levels, and I thank you because I needed to hear that, and I need those reminders. As strong as we are, as in the spirit, in with rank and all that, we have those moments where I can
Of
go back
course
to
we
that little
do.
girl life, and you just need that reminder, like, no, don't dim your light, because
Do
sometimes
not.
I do. I'll read it so much in my own energy. It's so good with the Most High that that's
There's
why I
gonna be
said it.
trickery out there, Tamika. I'm not gonna say any names, but I remember that comment. How someone see it. If I operated in the ego or insecurity or anything like
Mm,
that, I would have been triggered by this comment, but I wasn't because I saw very clearly. They were like something along the lines of, you would be great together, you and Tamika, co-host. Even though you're not a co-host, no one's better than anyone. We're doing it together.
no,
We're a team.
no,
We're a partnership.
we are.
Don't. There's not no hierarchy, nothing like that. The only one is the most
No, I
high.
don't look at it that way.
But this person said, and I love the. How am I going to say this? And it's okay because something. Okay, that's how I'm going to put it. Something was triggered in this individual. Okay, they
I
were
know it. Yeah.
wounded, so they tried to project it by coming at me, trying to mess up something that's very beautiful that's been divinely guided. Did I say that right? Did I
Yeah,
say that okay?
someone could try to divide and conquer.
Okay, yeah. So, and it's all because of their own wounding, their own
Yes.
projection, and that's okay. But what was the comment? Tamika kind of is overpowering you,
Wow.
or something like
Wow.
that, or it could be something like that. Please take over,
Wow.
do it. You're beautiful, shine bright. Because you know what? It's almost like, and I don't know if it's Abbott and Costello, Lucy and Ethel. I don't care. We were divinely guided together, and
We really were.
that's trying to throw like a little tiny dagger just to see if it will divide. That's not going to happen
Yeah.
anymore in my life because I already know that
Yeah.
you and I were guided together by the Most High, and anything that the Most High, and now I'm getting feisty, anything that the Most High
You
puts
are.
together
I love it. You see, I'm
cannot be
smiling.
torn apart. I know. So you can throw daggers because you're wounded or whatever it is. I forgive because I care about you and you're a good person, or whoever
Yes.
wants to come in. No, it's not going to work.
No, because
Please
that's really
don't
not
dim
intention.
anything. You shine so brightly. You're beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You really, it took
Because I know who I
you
am.
guys,
See, maybe they didn't
right.
think I knew who I was. I know exactly who I am.
And that's the
It
thing.
doesn't offend me. It doesn't trigger me. I love it.
It took a long time, Molly. It did. It took a long time to get, and I've always like, I heard it. They just gave it to me. Fake it till you make it. That was me. I would, when I had to be at work, and there were people that were like, I never knew when they got close to me that you had those struggles within myself because of the way I confidently would do my job and interacted with people and all that. I did.
Right.
Like I said, I could have
Just
acted.
be
I
kind
got
to
maybe.
people. Yeah, people don't know the struggles we deal with on the outside and on the inside.
I really did. And I told her, I said, no, this was fake it till you make it energy. I did. I would hear that just, okay, you're going to get there. But just try to be as confident as you can be now. And that was a struggle. But to have that come full circle where I really am, and I really just want everyone, every divine feminine and masculine to embody as
Right.
we were supposed to, made to, and reflect that the Most High's light,
Right.
His love, all that goodness of what He is and embodies.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to do.
Right, right.
And I
And
want people to join
continue
me.
doing it because that's what's supposed to happen. We are not perfect. We're going to have our
No,
moments. We are. But
yeah,
when we come back to that space and we ground ourselves and we connect, if we come off with love and light and we are shining bright and we are operating as the Most High wants us to, do not come and try and throw little things because of someone is wounded. We
yeah,
already know who we are, and we've done a lot of work. You and I have done a lot of work to get to this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
There's
Truly,
no. So I'll remind
truly.
you. I will always remind you. I will pick you up. If you ever
And
have any doubt, I'm going to remind you. Shine
you
bright.
are, and you do. And I'm gonna always remind you that
Thank
it's
you. I know.
okay to get a little feisty
I
and
know
spicy
you do. I know. You
because you
do.
do it so gracefully, you do it so tactfully. And I had to explain this to someone by definition. See, you got real disrespectful. You could have tactfully said that, and by definition, tact is the art of making your point felt without making an enemy. And a lot of people do it. You're tactless. You don't care that it offends people. You don't care how it comes out. There's no tact. And I've always been taught that from young. Like, you can say things and it can be respectful, baby. Like, that's from grandfathers to uncles. And grandma was like, no,
Right. Yeah.
there's a way to say things to people where you're not offended. And
Right.
I always made sure that was just in me anyway as a kid.
Right. And it's our karma as well. How are we delivering things to people? What is our intention?
It's always going to go back to that.
Mm?
Always. What was your intent? Because either way, you can say that to me, you, or anyone else, but your accent, it's gonna show. It's
The
gonna come
energy
out.
doesn't lie, and our
It just.
and our guides tell us the truth. So you can
I've been
say it
saying
any which
this.
way you want. It's still I can see. You can see.
I see, and that's what is.
What is
Um,
the intention?
disconcerting for people, I would say the proper word.
The
Like it
fact that we
really is
can
when we can
see.
see it, that we can see it, that I can call that they'll say one thing, but energetically it gets called out. You know what I'm saying? Like where I've had people, sitting and I can see the kind of side eyes and eyeballing, and they'll say one thing, but again, those actions, those little micro ticks and micro expressions, and then they'll end up saying something later that confirm, well, you weren't
Of
really feeling
course,
me, and
the
you don't know
devil
anything about me.
exposes them, and we're sitting here talking about it. So do the healing work, remove those attachments, that negativity, so you can operate as the Most High created you to operate. Yes, we have a shadow. That's okay, but we don't use it to hurt people. We don't use
I
it to
don't.
divide. It's about unity.
It is. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. And that's what, at the end of the day, if you're coming to anyway, if you're coming in this space, because this is where we are, and I'm hearing that
Right.
clearly, please make sure you have done that work. You've done that temperature check.
If
I
not,
just
I'll
got to
just
be
hide them
blunt
from the channel. See, I don't get feisty. I just don't deal with it.
I told, what did we say? That cutoff game is real.
It
I'm a
is.
surgeon with a scalpel with mine. I am. It's real
But
precise.
I like your warning because it's true, and I'm gonna put it in the comments too, just like I have on the other channel. Please be
Yeah.
respectful of your
Yeah.
comments. Be
Yeah.
mindful. If you're gonna criticize or place judgment, don't do it. Because I will. I'll hide someone in 1 second.
In a New York minute. And it has to be that
Well,
because
yeah.
that these people are, they're being guided. We're doing what we were called to do, our divine purpose. We're walking in that now. And it's serious. It's where it is missionary work for the most high, for the ultimate source, substance, limits, and bounds of all things in this universe. We have to, there is an etiquette there. So we're just asking simply that that be
Right.
respected the same way we are trying to pay that forward in kind
Right.
and do that and give that back with how we speak and what we're talking about and being mindful of the people that are being called to come into this space.
Yeah, and
That
we don't expect. I mean, nobody's perfect. We've said this before. We're imperfect, but just
we
be
are.
mindful of the
We are.
negative projection and the actual attacking of people who are
I don't
sharing
like that.
stories. Because I personally, I won't tolerate it. I want
I'm
peace.
not.
I will not.
I love how
And
you
I
say
won't
that.
even get mad at you. I'll just block you.
You know, you're sitting back like this mastermind, like I won't even get upset with you.
I'll just block you.
And wink, wink, wink. I was just
Because
I
I
love
want
it so
peace. I
much.
want us to do what we're here to do. It's to assist.
It
I want a
is. It
positive
truly is.
environment.
And we take it seriously. No, but we
Yeah,
do
but we
seriously take
do
it.
really take it
We have
seriously.
fun doing it,
We do
but
have
we
fun
really
doing it.
do. And
I live
that's
like a
why
mastermind. That was cute.
it was like you kind of gave me, what's that? Thinking of a master plan vibes. Thinking of a master plan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, but at the end of the day, the ultimate plan is the most highest plan.
It's his
Again,
plan.
it's his plan.
We just
We didn't
follow
make
his
it.
guidance. We didn't make it. No, it's his.
He had the ultimate blueprints. We just finally got ours, looked it over, and figured out that this is where we were supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it here.
I do
Okay.
too. I do too. All right, my love bug. So we will do another one. I know I love you too.
I love you.
So thank you everyone for joining. Beautiful, wonderful, fabulous child of the Most High, TIMECA, YVETTE, my soul sister, who I'm really grateful for, who has been
Thank
guided
you.
into my life. Thank you so much. Yeah,
I
thank you.
love,
And
thank you. And I love you so much. I love you all that joined us here today. Seriously. I thank you all. This is it's therapy for me and on so many levels that it helps keep me balanced to be able to come in this space, talk with you all, connect with people. I'm building so many great bonds and having people that are starting to reach out. I have some alerts on my Facebook now. I have to check. I don't. They're just going crazy, and I haven't even been on there and really posting like that. But I just still try to make sure I'm checking in because that matters to me. It really does mean something to both of us.
of
What you
course,
got, the feedback that you all give
yeah.
to us,
And we give
and
back to everyone. We do the
I'm
best.
honored.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
really,
I am
truly,
too.
and deeply honored. And thank you for having me on this journey.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I don't even know where to look. I'm looking at TIMECA. Thank you guys for joining us. The Walk with Faith podcast with wonderful TIMECA, Yvette, me. And we
And
pray
my,
that you're always surrounded by the Most High God's love, protection, and blessings. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you.
hi, thank you.